friend of mine, might be a friend of yours. Certainly by the time we're finished. He will be your favourite person from your new favourite band. Bung technology. That should have worked. Hey!
Hello.
There's the mouth of a man some of us recognise.
Yeah.
There's the rest of the face. Hey! So, kids, third time's a charm. You may recognise Sean from other videos, such as Johnny Meets Delirium Tremors, or let's just talk shit about games for a couple of hours. But, as you can see, he wears many hats, this fellow, both figuratively and literally. And today, we have the joy in the capacity of a screaming tooth. And
I'm here on behalf of the band. Yeah, I'm on behalf of the band. So we've got 3 members as me, bass and vocals, Ben on guitar, Ben Lee, and Luke Morton on drums, and he's the hunk of the band. So everybody loves a drummer. So yeah, he's our selling point.
It's the rhythm thing, isn't it? That's what the ladies like.
Like good rhythm, yeah.
Yeah. So I know everybody hates this kind of a question, but so how would you what label, because we have to do that, would you put on the band? What's the closest genre?
I could probably label this band more than I could my own stuff or like that. We've definitely got the psychedelic vibes going on. Definitely got like a bit of a classic rock feel blended with a stoner rock feel. Just sort of heavy but yet chill out music, if you like. You know, you can chill to it, but you can also rock to it at the same time. That's what we're aiming for anyway. Just something that's fun to play, fun to listen to, and hopefully other people agree. So.
And people can hear this shit like everywhere?
So we do like to rep as Bandcamp as much as possible because we make a little bit of money out of that. All the stuff's on there. You can buy a demo for £3. So we're not exactly charging extortionate amounts or anything like that. You get more tracks than you do spend pound coins on each one. So and then we're on all the Robin Git streaming sites that pay you naff all for 1 million plays or all like that, if you're lucky enough to get that. So we don't really we're on there just for exposure basically, and we know that's what people like to use. I personally like, we're on YouTube and Spotify. We're on all of them basically, pretty much. All the ones worth being on, we're on them. So.
Well, like I said, you've got to be in it to win it, and
Definitely.
And so, how long has this been a thing?
The band?
Not been around that long. Yeah.
No. Me and Ben, when we split with previous band that we had, we kind of weren't doing anything for a while. Started doing like a bit of a side project together. Then decided, should we try and get another band on the go? But we'll try and make it 3-piece because less people means less things to go wrong. So I decided to play an instrument as well as sing. Like Ben wanted to just crack down on guitars, and we were just looking for the drummer to fit the unit, the missing tooth. And Luke came along. He just left a band literally as we were looking for one, and it just all fell into place. And I think we've been going about a year now. As of end of May, we were a lineup. So we've got 2 demos out, actually 3 now because we've got a live recording. We're planning on writing more stuff. We don't mess about when it comes to getting a lot of songs we've been jamming for ages, but we've trickled them out to people as we've been going, just because we kind of want to refine them a little bit or change bits, or I have to learn lyrics and I'm not very good at that. Like out of everything, if I'm going to forget anything, it's lyrics. So plenty of singing the same verse twice in the practice room because I'd forgot what the other one was. So, but yeah, I think over the summer period we'll be doing another recording, another EP. We've got plans to do a split EP with Three of Swords, and I think we might be also trying to get one done with Osprey possibly in future. So, well, we're not many bands that we know are doing split recordings. So we thought, well, that used to be fun, so we'll bring that back.
Yeah,
so.
I was going to say, I've got like a whole bunch of really great split EPs from back in the day, which is a thing that just doesn't happen.
No, you do still find them now and again, mainly like, I mean, you had Nirvana and Jesus Lizard do like a split EP back in day, but now nobody does that. Like when they get to a certain level of prolificness, I suppose. But yeah, it's one of them where it's like, well, we've become matey with a lot of bands that we've been gigging with, and we've got the means to like just record pretty easily and pretty cheaply, as in nothing, because we do it all. So why don't we get some other bands in? So then it's not just us recording us, we're recording other bands as well, and it's a bit more fun and stuff like that. And it helps other bands out because recordings aren't cheap. So
that's what I didn't get. I mean, well, it sounds like everybody wins to me, which was a big pet peeve of mine when I was trying to do this shit, because I had this crazy, like, community idea. Like I say, you play with bands. They're similar. You go speak to them. Before the gig, after the gig. Whenever, and you try and like make friends. You think we've obviously got things in common. I can hear influences in when I've just checked out your set or whatever. And there's things, but then people can be so fucking competitive that they don't, because I'm like,
it's not a race, it's not a sport, it don't work that way. So if you act like that, then you deserve every like trip and stumble that you come across. Like every artist out here in this world today is eating a shit sandwich, right? We're all taking a bite. So if you're in that world, you might as well help the other person out, because at the end of the day, it's networking. It's you're helping them, you're getting their work exposure, you're also getting exposure off the back of them if they do, if they hold up their end of bargain. And that's what this like sort of music world needs a bit more, because it's just loads of dog eat dog like sort of bands out there.
Right, okay, I'm gonna stick my neck out a little bit here. Because personally, now as someone 100% on the other side of the stage, I will always be the fan now, and I still am. I don't get out like I used to. I like to. One of the things that kind of bugs me is that, like, relatively recently, and I'm thinking sort of like post-pandemic, I think that might have something to do with it.
Yeah.
Like every gig is a paid gig. Every gig is a ticket. I need to buy a ticket. Like it doesn't matter if it's the Dog and Duck or it's the O2, whether it's the lads who live around the corner and rehearse in the shed, or it's the fucking Foo Fighters. I've got to buy a ticket. All right, I know it's not much. What you complain might be £3 a ticket or something. Why you won't?
Yeah.
Not the price. It's the principle of the thing. And I have musicians, and I talk to musicians, and they explain to me how they're providing a service and how it costs to be in a band, and how instruments cost money, and then there's upkeep and strings, and there might even be lessons involved. There's renting rehearsal space. There's travel to the venue, and then you have to. Your amps are heavy, man, and you have to lift them and carry them all the way there. And
My
I
back will
get that. I really
tell you,
fucking do. I can't, and I've done that for years, so I fucking know. I'm not saying you don't deserve to get paid. I'm saying, yes, you're right. If the venue wants you on to provide that service, a service where you will probably make money for that venue, happy people listening to fucking kick-ass tunes will probably drink more, eat more, spend more time, not leave and go to the other pub like they had originally planned. They nudge the mates and go, well, let's just have another one in here. These are good. So you will make money for the venue and shit. So you deserve some recompense for all that hard work and the service you provided from the venue. You're providing a service for the venue. The venue should fucking pay you, not me, not your friends.
I 100% agree with that. Yeah.
If when I'm buying a ticket, I feel like I'm paying, which is fine. It's a great product, and I'm willing to pay for some screaming teeth, right? On the one hand. On the other hand, so the venue's just going to make a shit ton of money behind the bar and just keep it. And the money that them screaming teeth are going to make comes from me. And you might not even take 100% of that ticket price, and every venue's different, every negotiation is different, but you may not even take 100% of that. So, like, I'm not entirely happy with this situation.
No, I know what you're saying. Basically, the ticketed gigs are all right if you know the chuffing hell that you're seeing, because a lot of people, they're not going to buy a ticket to some, like, but most people, you know, I might bug some friends like, oh, do you want to come to this gig we're playing? There's loads of other bands on. They'll be like, yeah, just come out for the night. But they don't know who they're going to see, so they don't know whether it's going to be worth that £5 they paid to get in. They might just want to go as soon as we've played, or they might even walk off halfway through us playing. Who knows? So it's just one of them where I get what you're saying. It's the Joe public that are paying for the artists to play, not the venues. When if they've got all the stuff there, they generally have like they'd have like some sort of allowance for that. I know venues are taking an absolute like shit time because like, you know, government basically making everything hard for them. You know, everybody, like I said, everybody's eating a shit sandwich.
Yeah, I mean, I have sympathy and empathy for both sides, for venues, for promoters, and for the artists, and I've been involved in both sides. But it's just, I don't know. Maybe I think it's just the part of the potential midlife crisis that I'm going through, when like the sort of the real like hippie side of me is just like, especially when it's artists. When venues are trying to make a buck, I get it. You're a business, right? So you've got to turn a profit and shit. So I can cut you a certain amount of slack. And like you said, you've been through some hard times, some very fucking hard times. You might have had to be closed for like over an entire year, and you're lucky you're still standing. So like, I've got some sympathy and some empathy for that. Sometimes when I hear artists basically like refuse to play free gigs, I mean, don't let people walk all over you, because, you know, you deserve to get rewarded for being as amazing as you are. But on the other hand, whatever happened to just that need to entertain, that need to just be an artist and share your art and your stories, you know, with the world?
I think it depends. It depends what kind of band you are. It depends what kind of band you are, because I mean, if you want to make any money in the music world, just be a cover band. Just be a cover band, because that's all, you know, people want to hear the same Foo Fighters tunes played badly over and over again every weekend. For some bizarre reason, you've got enough grog down your neck, you could listen to farts like being blown out of a tin whistle and you'd be absolutely happy with it. But we're a passion band. All three of us are in it for music and writing process and stuff like that. We you know, the way we make money is like as T-shirts and as CDs that we do. We might make a few quid on top of everything like that. And venues have been nice to us and offered us, you know, any tickets that you do sell, you keep full money, that's your payment, and stuff like that for playing. But yeah, a lot of like there's some venues like Bridge in Rotherham. I've got to give them the props. Like every time we played a gig there, they don't, you know, they'll just give you 50 quid, and that's more than you get in most gigs.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. It's good when they. Or I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm quite happy for him to just like chuck a load of beers in back and say, "There you go." That's something for playing. So you know. Because like I say, if we've got merchandise and CDs and stuff like that to sell, that's where we get that. Because all it does is it goes back in band kitty, and it allows us to get more bigger and better things for band. That's it.
Yeah.
We're not.
Sometimes I feel like, you know, like when bands are bitching about not getting paid enough, there's a part of me that just wants to say, fucking work harder, dude. You know, like.
Yeah.
There are other avenues beyond just, like you said, to negotiate. Be a better negotiator. Get a better deal.
Yeah.
When it comes to
There's
the arrangement regards tickets or whatever, get a better deal. Get your T-shirts or whatever on a better deal, so you can still keep the price reasonable while making that little extra. You know,
exactly.
Work a bit harder instead of just going, "Oh, I wish the venue would give me £1 million a gig." You know, like. Not really.
Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Like I say, a lot of time it's ego. So you know, we played gigs, and the band like the bands that you play with, some of them they won't even talk to you. Like everybody. But the thing is, like half of those gigs where there's if they brought like a full complement of a crowd, you'd think, all right, fair enough. You've at least got a bit of a reason to think you know, like smoking hot shit, but a lot of the time they're playing to the same empty room you are. So why are they acting like they're Aerosmith or something? I don't get it. I really don't get why. It's like, pull your head out your ass. You're a nobody just like me, and right, and just enjoy it. Enjoy being a nobody. Because who knows? One day you might think, "Oh, I wish I could play to an empty room again. I hate all this money and fame and hookers and blow."
I mean,
you know?
there are no headliners, certainly at grassroots level, and to be fair, at all levels, because on any given day, we all have a bad day. At any given time, you could play like shit, and this nobody support act. You know, you could be an arena selling, world touring platinum artist, and this support act that you've never heard of could blow you away night after night on this tour. You don't know. That could happen, headliner or not. I mean, you'll go home with more money, if that's what bothers you. But if you were bothered about like being the coolest in the room, being the great artist, being the one everybody's talking about, now that'll be the other guy.
Yeah.
You got completely fucked up.
Exactly. I think you've got to care about all that, haven't you? I think for us, we're all just so laid back and chilled out. There's no band drama, no band politics. It's all just like, we'll have a chat, have a laugh, and what sticks in a set sticks. I say, "Oh, what do you reckon to this?" Everybody's like, "Yeah, whatever, man." It's like, look, you can say it. No, don't. Don't do this. Let's keep it. But nobody ever disagrees. So and I don't disagree when they say stuff, because at the end of the day, I kind of agree with what they're saying. But there's no, what's the word, like, oh no, I think you should come at it with more floofier sound. It's like there's none of that. It's just we all have a vibe together, and I think that's what makes it a good band for us. So. But yeah, we've got some gigs coming up, but we are going to be slowing us roll on gigs for a bit, because we want to get these new songs put down. So we've got July the 5th, Chantry Brewery at Park Gate. There was going to be 4 bands on. Osprey, they're no longer playing because they've had to cancel due to some transportation issues. But where all other bands are still playing, we're all just going to do a bit of a lengthier set just to fill the gap. So about 40 minutes, I think, something like that.
Or you could do a fourth set of just a big fucking supergroup jam.
Yeah, we could all just just play a big band, couldn't we? I'll just like, right, let's play this tune, even though nobody knows riff, and we'll see how far we get. So, but yeah, that'll be a good one. And then we've got a Tramlines gig at Make Noise Studios, because luckily it got saved from the clutches of the landlords trying to kick them out. But so far so good. But that it's no guarantee that that's going to be the case for a long, long time. So we thought, right, we'll get a Tramlines gig there. They offered it us because we applied for a while back. So we thought, right, we'll have one more go there just in case. Later down the line, it's no longer there. It'll be like a right,
Yeah.
We've done it one final time before we go, and we wanted a Tramlines gig because we aren't really bothered with any. We've just been jamming out as new songs mainly for the past few weeks of like practicing. So yeah. Once we got them. Sorry.
No, I don't want to stop you.
I was going to say, once we got them down, we're just going to record, and then we'll probably have like another EP out with some fresh tracks, and hopefully record some other bands while we're at it. But to be confirmed. Yeah.
So, I mean, we've gone on for quite a while, and it's a lot later in the chat than I should really be asking this. But like, if I was a professional, I'd get paid, which doesn't happen at all. Nobody's chucking me 50 quid at the end of this, or anything. So, them screaming teeth, kids. That's what you want to be looking up. That's the socials you want to be smashing. You can hear them everywhere, see them in some of those places. You know the places. We don't need to give them any more attention than they already get. Bandcamp, though, would be a good one. So them screaming teeth. Come on, give us the story behind the name. Where did that come from?
So it started because I was listening to I'm into my probably gonna get a lot of shit for saying this, but I'm into like a lot of cryptid encounters and stuff like that, the unknown and stuff like that. And it came from me and Ben. I proposed to Ben, why don't we call ourselves Screaming Teeth? Because on one of these encounters I listened to, this woman said in woods, all she could see were these screaming teeth looking at her through the woods, and this this hot air hitting her in the face. So I thought, yeah, I want to sound like that. So when we got together, and then Luke joined, he thought, what about them screaming teeth? And I thought, actually, yeah, it has got a bit more of a flow, a bit more of a better sound to it. So we added that in. That were Luke's contribution. He put the pronoun on the front for us. So there we go.
It gives it that slight sort of Yorkshire tweak as well, I think.
Yeah.
That's not just me.
Them the screaming teeth.
Screaming
so
teeth.
Yeah, so and a lot of the songs are, well, not all of them, but a lot of the songs are revolved around stuff. So we've kind of got like some Bigfoot songs in there. We've got some Mothman. I know these aren't. We started venturing off into different things like Anunnaki, and basically like the weird and wonderful. We wrote a new song about Salvador Dali's Faces of War painting that he did. So and then we've got some about taking ayahuasca up on a mountaintop, and a coyote is telling you about the rise and fall of mankind in this mad trip. And and Welcome to the Sadlands, which is about the history of mankind and things like that. So yeah, all big idea kind of stuff, all stuff that has like a lot of imagination involved, especially with topics. So we do like to not just write songs about just smoking a bong in your dad's Vauxhall or like that. We like to, we have got a song about smoking some weed, and it the devil possesses you once you do. It possesses your mind, and it makes you like summon him from like in this ritual, and once you smoke it, he takes over you. So yeah, got a little bit of weed stuff in there, but not still a little bit weird, with the old devil kicking about in that song.
Yeah, well, I was I was thinking earlier whether to describe your sound as like you sound. I think you nailed it much better. Obviously, being the one who makes it with the psychedelic edge. Because I was just going to say like a little bit grunge, a little bit stoner, and then I
Yeah,
thought, yeah, but
but
if you shift that and we start having groaner music, that's I'm not
that
sure
sounds,
about
yeah.
that.
Yeah, like I said, we've got Ben Lee playing guitar. It's a bit hard to get away from that rock and roll grunge edge with his style. It's sleazy, it's dirty, it's heavy, it's anything that you could listen to. Like a lot of what I listen to has got that kind of style of guitar. Ben's guitar reminds me of Ace Frehley out of Kiss, like just with how he does stuff, how he writes his songs. They're very, very similar. It's got like a bit like a more pumped up, heavier version of a garage rock sound.
Yeah.
So there's in with that. Luke, he's a metal drummer but he generally does more of like the grooves of like John Bonham, that kind of thing in our band. He likes to play more of a classic rock kind of style with drums. And I'm doing two jobs at once, so I'm not particularly trying to be anything at once. I'm just trying to make it all work and combine and play it without messing up one or the other. So, but I try and get my bass sound to sound like either Lemmy or JJ Burnell out of the Stranglers. That kind of like, it's got a lot of mid range in it, but as soon as you chuck the old big muff pedal on, it sounds fat and dirty, So
That's right.
yeah, I just try and beef it up.
We like our bass like we like our men.
Yep.
Yes.
Fat and yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're giving away all my secrets here, John.
Hey.
But yeah, that's as kind of like what we kind of like to sound like. One of band will probably like print comments. You're bullshitting. I don't want to sound like that, but who knows? But that's what I get from them anyway. So.
Yeah, but if you pull three, just like incredibly huge Green Day fans in a room and tell them to jam out a band, guess what they're going to sound like?
Exactly.
So, much more interesting music can be made if there's got to be some common ground. Obviously, you've got to get on with each other for a fucking start. Spend quite a bit of time together. But good when there's those differences too. Makes it
yeah.
work.
We try and use ingredients of what we like certain ingredients, but try and not sound like any one thing. But there has been on occasions where Luke will come in and go, I was listening to our stuff last night. Kind of sounds a bit like Rush in places. And I'm like, oh, well, I've not listened to Rush for a long time, so it's probably not on purpose, but I guess, is there. So it might be my vocals being all Geddy Lee, squeaky top, something, who knows. But yeah, it's just one of them where we don't aim for a specific sound. We just think, we try and visualize what would go with the song, the context and the matter, Like we've got a song called Land of the Ridgewalkers, which is about Bigfoot hunting you down in woods, and so the riff is like supposed to be like the heavy footsteps kind of coming at you. So Bad Trip. It's not about going to Skegness. It's about having some seriously mad drugs and it taking you to a weird place that you don't want to be. So yeah.
So the songwriting process for you guys, is that mainly jamming?
Yeah, it used to be at the beginning. Me and Ben would jam together or have a riff, and then other one would bring the accompanying riff to it. and then Luke could just kind of make up whatever he wanted on drums when he joined, because we didn't really have anything but programmed drum loops, so it didn't matter. I'm like, forget what that's playing, just play what you think needs to be on it. And then now we'll be playing a set, and then halfway through we'll be a break, and then somebody will start playing a riff, and we'll all just joining in and go. So I usually like record it and then send it them, so they've kind of got a reference to. Oh yeah, we'll build on that, and then we just keep jamming it and jamming it and jamming it, and trying to add a bit of structure to it, and then I have to annoyingly try and learn some lyrics to it, which I can. I've done all right so far, but I think the more songs that we get, the more that's going to kind of fall out of one ear while the others are getting pushed in, because I've probably got limited like storage up here, I think.
Yes. So what are the? I mean, I think we've already mentioned. I was going to say, what are the like immediate goals and what are the long-term goals? I think we've already covered. I think you're going to do more recording and.
Yeah. So immediate goals are play these couple of gigs. See them through, just so we've got the Tramlines Fever Arteries system, and I want to play in a brewery, As soon as they said, do you want to play in the Chantry Brewery? I'm like, yeah. Like, can you just like put me in a big vat of beer or something? So we want to get them done, and then we're going to just hunker down for a bit, like do some recording, depending on whether other bands want to get in on that action. We might hunker down for a bit longer and get all that done, and then we might try and do some winter gigs like late. But we're not really. We're just there to play. We haven't really got any big aspirational goals like we just want to be the next best thing, the big stars of Rotherham, and we want to play Wembley. We don't want. I'm speaking for myself, but I think everybody else is in the same sort of frame of mind. We just want to play music and we enjoy it, and if we kind of like the buzz of playing live, and we kind of like the process of like recording. So we just kind of want to do that really, and get a big body of work, and hopefully get some fans by playing gigs and people listening to us. So there is plans really. We're not that aspirational, I suppose, in the grand spectrum of what bands like to do, and make loads of money. Like I'm 40, man. I think I think them days are behind me, because I can't practice 5 days a week. I've got enough on my plate, so I'm never going to be at that professional level playing, like gigs all the time or practicing every day. It's just not going to happen. And then I'll be even older by the time that arises again. So still, I'll probably get big and then die. So everybody else will be looked after, I suppose.
Well, hey, if history has taught us anything, if history has taught us anything, it's that rock stars dying actually does wonders for your career.
Yeah, shame it doesn't do anything for your health. Yeah, so like I said, everybody else will be looked after, band and family, but yeah, I'd be there going, why couldn't it have happened sooner?
Right, so that's a fair bit on them screaming teeth. Not to leave that behind entirely, but I'm not sure if we've actually did this or not in the capacity that it's evolved into now, the last time you were on. So let's get to know Sean a little bit better, and
oh God,
playing a little bit of this or that.
Okay. I like games.
We'll start as we always do. As we. Who's we? There's me. There's really just me. The whole.
Are you talking about the voices in your head?
It's just me. Voices. Don't tell him about us. Okay. Cats or dogs?
Dogs, 100%. Over.
100%.
Don't
Beer
get
or
me
wine?
wrong. Beer, 100%. No choice.
Pizza or kebab?
Pizza, because I'm a vegetarian and you can't get shop bought vegetarian kebabs. I guess. I suppose you might be able to get them from some places, but not in Rotherham. So pizza.
Who knew? I mean, did you think everything growing up one day, me and Count Duckula, we'll have something in common?
I'm proud of that. So Ducky's doing me proud. Yeah.
Yeah. What else going to? Okay. Country retreat or city living?
Country retreat, 100 times over. Yeah. Can't stand cities, but you've got to kind of they don't do mass gigs in country, so yeah, I've kind of got to do it.
Okay. Do you consider yourself a leader or a follower?
Ugh. Do I have to give either of those? I would say I'm a diplomat. I would say I will take somebody's lead if I believe they know what they're talking about. On the other hand, if I disagree with them, I'll be like, I think you should just wait over there, dude. I'll sort this out, So, bit of both, I would say. It's a 50-50.
Probably the way to be. Would you rather go skydiving or scuba diving?
Neither, but if I had to choose, scuba, because I'm terrified of heights.
The most common answer so far.
I've literally got vertigo. I can't walk up an open staircase without my legs giving way. So, or I get up to the 4th step on a step ladder and I'm a goner.
Big parties or small gatherings?
Small gatherings.
Yeah.
Quality. Unless it's a gig. Yeah, unless it's a gig, then big party. Yeah.
Would you rather have money or free time?
Time is money, but I would say free time.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I want to say. I mean, initially, straight away, it's like free time. And then the kind of the realism, kind of takes over. And you go, yeah, I kind of need the money. Such is the world we live in, It's just as a question, just put it out there. Oh, free time. It's
you can't. They're interlocked. You can't have one without the other. Because you know what I mean. Like you need to have money to be able to do what you want. Otherwise, you have to give up your free time to make money. So it's like, you can't really.
Hopefully, the money.
That's the way the system is designed. Yeah, the system's designed that way, and none of us benefit from it.
No, which is why we just sat wondering, polka dots or stripes.
Never thought of that one before. I would say stripes.
Since I started asking this, I have had someone take that question so seriously they needed to know if it was horizontal or vertical.
Wow. I suppose I'm not that picky. I quite like I like my stripes to go any direction.
Oh, my favourite. Would you rather see a puppet show or a magic show?
Well, if you watch General Election, that is a puppet show. So I will say magic show.
What kind of magic do you like? Do you like the kind of like close-up magic, like the card tricks, the street magic, the kind of misdirection sort of stuff, or like the huge fucking make the Empire State Building disappear kind of illusion?
Yeah, but both of those are impressive. But I like the ones where, like Dynamo, he was just crazy. Where he'd walk. I'm sure it's all explainable. Otherwise, he'd be revered as a god by now. But The way he can just like walk through a pane of glass by somebody holding a coat over him and things like that, and just walking across water when you look and you think you're trying to look for things underwater, and then a boat goes over the top of it, and I'm like, what? So yeah, things like that blow my mind because I'd love to believe that there's real magic in the world, and that guy, is Jesus's brother or something. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is more going on in this world than we will probably ever understand. That's definitely true.
I like to think so.
What always gets me with the quote unquote magicians, like you said, I mean, I mean, sorry, spoilers, kids, if if you didn't know, it doesn't take away from when you get to sort of peek behind the curtain. When occasionally you get people who let you in on this is how you do this trick.
Yeah.
Do you know, it doesn't spoil it for me at all. If anything, I'm just even more impressed that is so fucking, all the different moving parts that you've put in place to achieve that is still so impressive. Yeah,
absolutely.
To come up with that technique to do that. I mean, traditionally, like in the most basic sense, the way most kind of stage magicians have the beautiful assistant, because you're looking at her cleavage, not watching him take the ball from under the cup, right?
That's true. Yeah, I miss many a magic trick if they've got a good assistant.
But yeah, I mean, Penn and Teller. Penn and Teller, I used to love those guys because they would give you that peek behind the curtain. They would do a trick and then show you how that trick was done. And part of the act was, while we were showing you how we did that trick, we performed another trick right under your nose because you were distracted by paying attention to how we did the first trick. And then
it's clever.
Kind of double punchline that's like, fuck, what did they just do? I thought they were great.
Yeah, it's clear. I like the cleverness, and even when it's dissected, you're like, I would have never guessed how that was done if you'd have not shown me. I would have thought that it was, so much of a more complex answer, but it's normally a lot more simple than what you think.
Yeah. So. And I'll watch someone else do it the week after as if I'm watching it for the first time. I know exactly how that trick's done now, or at least I know how the other guy did it, who was willing to tell us, but I'll still be like, that was awesome when I see guy number 2 do it. What else we got? Here?
Yeah, more please.
Yeah. Would you rather be a vampire or a werewolf?
See, I would have thought I've always been more of a vampire fan, but lately I thought probably a werewolf. Just, I don't know, just probably because I want to actually become them screaming teeth. That's probably what, I want to be, like running through the woods, like attacking tourists, who knows, but yeah. I would say that is the answer I would give these days, a werewolf of some kind.
I think, for me, it's the whole live forever thing. That whole, you having to watch your loved ones die and all that shit because you just keep going and having to deal with that. And it's, there's going to be more people where they came from. To get to know and get to like, but to just do that over and over again, to love someone and then die and then love someone else and they die and love someone else and they die. I don't know if I can, and I can't even kill myself really to,
Do werewolves actually have like a specific lifespan? Like, do werewolves have a lifespan? I know vampires can go on forever and ever, but
yeah, I mean, I think it seems to be over the years we seem to have settled on quite a like a vampire law that everybody seems fairly committed to. Like it works. There's some differences, but there's a sort of base set of stats that everybody seems to agree that's how vampires work. But werewolves are still seems to be very much a mixed bag, doesn't it? Sometimes it's uncontrollable rage.
American Werewolf in London would be my go-to example of a werewolf, where Silver is or Dog Soldiers, because Dog Soldiers is a pretty good one. But they're the standout for, there's a lot of others, but they're the two that I really rate. So
there's a lot, but there's not as many as there should be. I feel like
no,
the vampires have definitely have got some kind of backhanded
yeah.
bribery going on with Hollywood because.
Well, they're doing different. The thing is with vampires, they've got a romantic edge to them, haven't they? Or they have. That's been spoon fed in because not only are you getting like some horror action, there's some saucy romps going off with somebody biting a neck and you're like, oh, me blood, and all that.
Yeah.
So especially when you get the glittery ones that all the teens like, where you're doing Disney Plus vampires, that kind of thing.
Which is, I mean, I know it was like a big joke when that stuff was sort of more a prominent part of pop culture, but it is right. The kind of it's not really nitpicking, but to be like, he's a vampire, he's dead. They're the undead. He has no blood, no circulatory system, no beating heart pumping that round. Dude can't get a hard on. Dude's useless.
No, you wouldn't think so. Yeah. And what comes out at the end when he finishes? Is it dust or something? Because surely all that don't work either.
This is the thing. It's not going to get started, I mean, there are toys and tools we can use for that thing. I mean, there's, but like...
Yeah, getting the last Pringle out of the can. So, why do we always go there, John, when we meet? Why do we always...
So yeah, we'll go with the last couple of go with the controversial ones.
Okay.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Trek.
Yeah.
And I do like the old Star Wars. Anything from Episode 1 can take a flying leap as far as I'm concerned. If you're a big Star Wars fan, obviously I know you're going to enjoy them. That's fine. Just not for me. I grew up with the original 3, and that's all that really counts. But Star Trek, oh man, like the 60s ones with Shatner and the Jean-Luc Picard ones, and then even the new films that they made with Chris Pine and stuff, all good. So yeah. So can't fault any of them. I haven't really watched all of them. I know there's SG-1, Enterprise, and then it starts going on to there's Picard. So I haven't watched Picard, but I've watched Enterprise and SG-1.
I think Enterprise is cruelly underrated. I think it got shit on from day one and got cancelled early. And I mean, you said to me it's Scott Bakula as a Star Trek captain, and I was like, take my money now. What a great idea. Why did it take so long for that to even happen? It just seems to make sense. And he does a fantastic job.
Patrick Stewart, he just, I don't know. I loved Shatner, but I thought if I want anybody to lead the ship into the realms of space, it's Picard. It's Patrick Stewart, because that guy, he just gives off an air like he knows what he's doing. And if he doesn't, then we're all doomed. So there you go.
Yeah, I think that's what you get when you cast the Shakespearean British thespian.
Yeah.
As your crazy, multicultural, futuristic starship captain. It just adds that air of. Yeah, it could be.
I'm a bit disappointed. Society hasn't kind of took more notes from Star Trek, let's say. Because we'd all be living in a better place if, we eradicated all war and.
Wasn't it? I mean, back in the day.
For the greater good, basically.
The idea was kicked around back in the day, that the original Shatner series, that Gene Roddenberry had in fact been in touch with the lizard people or whoever, and he wrote that as exactly that. As like a manifesto, as an aspiration, as a hey kids, why not act like this? And if we did, because television is very influential, people pay more attention to what gets said on TV than what your politician says. You even know who your local MP is. So they tried
Definitely.
it and, failed miserably. Well, it might be a huge, huge hit. It makes a lot of money for someone. But culturally, societally, we're so far away from that Star Trek world.
Yeah, we're barely out of the jungle, basically. We're still monkeys with nukes and guns at this point.
But
still warring.
The one thing I will say, the one thing that does always niggle me a little bit about Star Trek is that the whole thing is this kind of really extreme, everybody loves each other, everybody gets along, it's multicultural, and everything's fine. They don't go like really, really deep into what the world's like what Earth's like what politics is like. But you've got the Federation. It's like we don't really have countries anymore, so we don't have war and shit. You've got the replicators if they want something to eat, drink, where it just gets materialized from these vending machines and shit. So you got to think. So the crew on the Enterprise, like none of them are getting paid for this, or like they're all getting paid the same, whether you're the captain or whether you're the guy who just cleans the vending machines, mops the floor and shit. You're all getting the same because we all love each other and everything's great now. But there's that. But there's that weird, because I guess how else would you make it work? There's that weird militaristic, where you have these ranks, and there's admirals and captains, and number ones and lieutenants, and and you work your way up like being in the military. So we've created this brilliant utopia, but essentially by militarizing it. But we don't kill anybody, honest. I mean, we come in peace,
Yeah. I might set my phaser to stun and give a good old blast with that if you piss me off. But yeah,
kind of like it's a weird sort of juxtaposition where I'm like, that's a military way of doing things, but it's supposed to be,
it's like a pacifist military, isn't it? Kind of thing.
I find it like very strange, but there's still a hierarchy, so there's still going to be that human competitive nature. You're still gonna. You don't want to be lieutenant forever. You want to be captain of your own starship one day.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah.
Because that's human nature. So I think that's why communism constantly fails, because all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others, and all that. So in order to try and achieve that Star Trek world, it's kind of like, but if we're all getting paid the same or whatever, and we all have a nice house and we all have a nice flying car or whatever they've got in that, it's a little bit harder to have that ambition. Why bother having all the extra stress and stuff that probably comes with being captain if I'm not really getting paid anymore? If I'm not going to get any more perks than the cleaner. It's that. If I think about that for too long, it puts me right off.
I was thinking about that, and it's like if like life were free, like as in currency didn't exist because it didn't need to. If you're hungry, you got something to eat because obviously there'd be somewhere you could just go and get something. Or if you needed something like a vehicle, you've got one, that kind of thing. So if you've got everything you need, the only thing like that you've not got in your life is meaning. So you can either be bored and just whittle out your days and however you're going to live like that, or you could find meaning by trying to contribute to the greater good. I think that's what it's all about. It's like everybody's got the right frame of mind where, right, we're all doing this for the greater good of everybody. We're not like, our world today has got too much of a selfish view, and it's all me, gimme. Yeah,
I mean, we're still going to be knee deep in crusty jugglers.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
The greater good.
Yeah, the greater good. So yeah, we don't have like that frame of mind, and I don't think it's something you can teach unless you're brainwashing somebody. Yeah. You've got to have that internal drive, that empathy, and that sort of like just moral high ground, I suppose. Not high ground, but a good moral standing to actually be that person. if everybody's shit, life shit, blah blah blah, I don't care, I just want to die, then yeah, you're not going to be one of them guys, helping everybody else out. So I think it is. Anyway, we're tangenting off the question, but yeah, that's.
So vote Sean this July, kids. Vote Ben Screaming Teeth.
Yeah. Yep. Free beer for everybody.
Hey. What else we got? Dragon Ball or Pokemon? Or don't care?
I used to care about Pokemon. I never really got into Dragon Ball. I think, but by the time I caught wind of Dragon Ball, I was far too well, you said that there's like 40-year-old dudes that still like it, which is fine. But I felt I was a fish out of water with it because it'd been going that long, and I didn't know anything about it up till a certain point. Whereas Pokemon used to be on when I got in from school, so that was my introduction.
I think so. Have you ever seen a UFO?
Yes, I have. Would you like me to tell you about it?
Go on.
Because I don't care either way. It's not a very long one.
Hang on. Is everybody ready for story time with them screaming teeth, kids?
Right.
Go for it.
So it was actually, we were in my front room, and we've got a flight path near us, like not overhead, but overhead somewhere in the vicinity, and my young daughter pointed to the sky and she went, "Look, an aeroplane." And I looked and I was like, "Oh yeah, it is an aeroplane, just like a Boeing or whatever, they are." But it looked like it got a big metal circle on the top, like those satellite kind of like a ball, like a big golf ball on top of them. It looked like one of them. I'm like, "Oh, that's a weird plane." But then the ball sort of started rising up above the plane, and then shot off and disappeared. And I was looking at it for literally about 40 seconds to a minute, and I was talking to my partner Katie, going, "Katie, come here." She's like, "What?" I said, "Come here, quick." And I'm not taking my eyes off it, so I'm still looking at her, going, "Come here, quick." And then as she got up to come over, I just saw it shoot off, and I went, "It's gone now." So she never got to see it. But me and my daughter, who's only 3, so she's not going to be a good witness, let's say. That is the nearest thing to a UFO I've seen, because there's nothing I know that shoots off the top of Boeings. Well, hovers at first to a certain height, and then just zips up out of, within a split second gone.
Well, look, I mean,
so
the links, being made. When you say the phrase UFO, people think aliens.
Yeah.
Which of course is an unidentified flying object. If it's flying and it's an object and you don't know what it is, then you've seen a UFO. I mean, as you say, it's a plane or it's a bird. I don't know what type of bird it is. I don't really know what type of plane it is. So it's kind of like I can't actually identify it as such beyond the very general identification of bird.
Yeah.
Bird. So it's like a semi-identifiable flying object.
My my understanding is just it's something I couldn't explain, because I know the planes have things on top sometimes, but this one ejected and then shot off, and it had there were no smoke coming out or anything to show it were being propelled. So I've no idea what it was. Not saying it's aliens at all. It's just some phenomena that I can't. And it doesn't have a glisten like like you'd expect, like the sun shining off the fuselage and it's causing like a lens flare or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't that, because it wasn't all twinkly. It was like round and white, and so it had definite shape. It wasn't like some sort of like lens flare. So all those things together make me think that's something I can't explain, and it's not a flying object. So yeah, that is.
In fact, I believe, due to the alien connection, every time everybody says that, and we had the recent huge court case in the US Congress with lots of well-respected generals and
Yeah, they're
ex-military
talking
type
about it.
coming in. Yeah, that I think we've now arguably, supposedly, sort of rebranded, and we're supposed to call them UAPs in order to kind of distance from that phrase that makes people think alien, because we've been saying UFO and making movies and shit forever. So it's now supposed to be
Yeah.
UAP. I think it's something like unidentified aerial, the projectile
Phenomena.
or aerial phenomenon or something like that. But
Yeah.
nobody ever
It's
says, "Oh,
basically
a UAP," or "I think I saw a UAP last night." Nobody says that. It's not catching
it's
on.
because it's because the topic. I mean, everybody used to get absolutely ridiculed for saying they'd seen anything, and then they're talking about it in Congress. So it's like, well, hang on. Normally they wouldn't be talking about something of such a matter if it wasn't that, like, basically they're best saying they are real, whatever they are real. And there's also chemtrails are apparently real as well. And this is also another thing that's come true. They actually do. There's specific cloud types, and if they spray like silver nitrate into it, and it condenses the basically it makes you get a lot more rainfall than you would normally get, but you can only do it on certain clouds, and a lot of countries in Europe have been doing it. So they were kind of half right, all these nutters saying, "Oh, chemtrails, turning all frogs gay," and whatever this, the Alex Jones crowd. So there is that, and then there's also big cats. DNA has been found in England that there's black panthers or leopards in. So DNA has been found now. So that's real. So all these things that people got ridiculed for are now kind of like there's some truth to some of them. Obviously, the Earth being flat is obviously ridiculous. I don't see why we would be the only flat planet and every other one is round. But okay.
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. So there is some that I'm not.
If you can't go out there and sort of look back,
yeah,
you just believe in what
it's CGI, John. It's CGI by NASA because NASA hasn't helped things because they have doctored photos for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And then now nobody will believe anything they ever say, but I will believe them that the Earth is round, So there is some conspiracy stuff that has come out to be true, but I wouldn't say that that is the case for everything, So
well, on a slight tangent, the next one is always: have you ever seen a ghost?
No. See, I've not seen a UFO for all my life up until 2023, and that's the one I've just seen. So it's only recently I've seen one of them. Ghost, I think the closest thing I've seen is an orb. It was like a ball of light near Wentworth Graveyard. It didn't look like, obviously on cameras they look like particles of dust, but obviously I wasn't looking at a camera. I was just looking, and there's kind of like a tennis ball shaped orb floating around, and I'm like, that's a bit weird. I was walking home from through Wentworth to get back home, so I was like, yep, I best I've got dark woods to walk through, so I best get myself home, because that a bit creepy. But yeah, I've never seen like a actual what you would class as a ghost or a spirit or poltergeist or anything like that. Never seen anything like that. But I would probably absolutely shit myself if I ever did. I'm more scared of ghosts than probably aliens or Bigfoot or anything like that. So, but yeah,
so let's carry on being weird, because I'm sure everybody's loving it. I'm sure you've had a deja vu, right? We've all had deja vu. I mean, what's all that about?
Yeah, like.
I mean, what do you?
Do you have any the Mandela effect.
There's another one, but we'll come back to that. But what the fuck is a deja vu? I mean, look, we are creatures of habit. We do repeat ourselves. We get up at that time and we go to work and we go to the same job and we take the same route. You know, we walk the same way or we get on the same bus and we make the same commute and we do the same job for fucking 8 hours and then we do the same thing to come home. Then even when we're at home, we get on, you know, we get the shower, we do that. So like that kind of, I think I've done this before. Well, you probably fucking have, like a lot of times.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've had deja vu and I have definitely never done this before because like this is the first time I've been to Spain. So there's no
Yeah.
fucking way that I've done this before and I don't know, my brain's just lagging, you know, I need to refresh. So they really, really intrigue me. And I've had, if you have any stories about this, I have had deja vu where they're like really, where you can almost like live inside it. Like when you get the first deja vu, and what that does is kind of prompt you when you notice that, oh, that's familiar. I'm sure that's happened before. You then almost in slow motion kind of live inside it and predict the next thing. You know, and then that guy does walk up just like you thought he's going to walk up next. And this can go on
Yeah.
for however long. Sometimes like 2 or 3 sort of actions could take place where you go, and then the woman in the red dress, and then the monkey. Oh, and fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a regular occurrence, but I've had a handful of those over the years, and it's nuts.
Yeah. I would say I've probably had some. Not that I can remember off the top of my head any particular examples, but I've had some. But I think science does actually think that like there's a 50% chance we're in a simulation, like the Matrix.
Yeah.
There's like the 50% chance we're not. So they're good odds. And or it could be something like past life or something. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah, people say lives. Also, I mean, multiverse, not just the superhero kids, the real multiverse theory is pretty much thought of as like what they call the standard model. That's pretty much how most physicists are thinking about the universe now. They're thinking of it as the multiverse. That's the thing that they're taking as a baseline reading. That's just how existence is. It's a multiverse, and so that coffee or tea, that somewhere there's a monkey typing out the works of Shakespeare, that everything that can happen can and will happen has and whatever happened.
Yeah.
Deja vu could be somehow it's that crossing, that layers of yourself on top of each other. The you that did do that a little bit earlier than this version of you, or later, or something. And
it's like a bleeding through into the dimensions. Yeah, see, that's the thing. We've got like a little simple primate view of things, like 3D world. That's all we know, right? But yeah, I think there's a lot more because I mean, birds can see, you know, magnetic fields in different colours and all sorts. So, and then and then you've got deers that can see like ultraviolet light and things like that. So we're very simplistic. We're built for survival, so we've got the exact tools that we need to survive and nothing more. Science is showing us that, you know, we've got the computers and everything else are helping us go beyond that because our brains can only do things at a certain speed. We'd probably be extinct before we ran calculations to find out how many, you know, multiverses or how you would access them or anything like that. So I would say supercomputers obviously would definitely be the thing to take us forward and learn more about that kind of thing. Like the Hadron Collider and stuff. They're trying stuff with that, like where you can open wormholes and stuff. So
I mean, again, if you want to put a cross in a box in a couple of weeks, kids, who's going to give the most money to R&D for like quantum physics and shit? Because that's how we're really going to solve the world's problems, not by fiddling around with a few taxes by 1% here and 1% there, you know?
Yeah.
Who's offering that? Oh yeah, that would be the nobody party. So
Yeah.
we're fucked.
Yeah, nuclear fission. I hadn't heard of that being worked on for a long time. When nuclear fusion is quite unstable and not very good. It don't yield as much. Like you can get 1,000 years power out of one specific core for an entire country or something.
Yeah.
With fission, but nobody's bothered about that because you can't make any money out of it or something.
That's
Like everybody would get something for free, and we can't be having that. We'd rather ruin the planet we're living on. Stupid monkey-like attitude from these very rich, big bully boys that have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculous.
But before we get on, before we descend into too much of a downer, did you see? Because humans can be spectacular, beautiful creatures.
Yeah.
Did you see? I'm going back a while, but did you ever see or read about? There was a documentary, the human pigeon. And
no, I think that one.
Birds sort of homing pigeons and the way they do what they do because they can see the magnetic field. So it's basically that. They have this like thing in their beak, this gluey globule thing between the beak, their eyes, the brain thing. So it picks up on the magnetic fields, and that's how they do what they do. So this guy, he basically wore a. If you can picture, he just wore a belt, and along this belt were magnets. Just little circular magnets. And the one that was like true north would vibrate. So he wore this belt for like a year or something, just going about his normal day, every day, with wherever north was, vibrating around the belt, all the way around his waist, 360. Did this for like a year. They then take this guy out to like an airfield, just a big, flat, empty space. Take his belt off, like put a bag over his head, like a kid, spin him round a whole bunch of times, walk him round wiggly fucking lines, dump him at one side of the airfield, and go, see you back at beginning, and leg it. And this fucker just like turns and almost walks like true north, almost fucking straight as a die, back to the start point. Because he had this strange sensation, like he could still feel the vibration, and that was the best thing his senses could do. Just felt like follow that, because why else would it be telling me? Why would I be having this sensation if it wasn't important? We now use the same technique, but vertically. Helicopter pilots, when they do the training in the simulators, they have it buzz when they're the right level above the ground, so they can land safely. Because especially the US military, they like to send these helicopters to sandy places and blow shit up. And they've wasted billions and billions of people just crashing the helicopters trying to land because it gets in all the sensors and they can't fucking see nothing. So they use it vertically for helicopter pilots. So they essentially have a superpower, a sixth sense, because humans can do that.
To be fair, that is
amazing, really.
Like it's they've done a bit of that with CIA, haven't they? Where they tried to use like remote viewing and like where somebody's kind of got like they put them in like a thing that amplified their psychic powers somehow. We all like a big coil or something, and they'd write down or draw whatever they saw, and then the person like they'd go and investigate would see exactly what they'd put. And then there's people that can like help murder investigations by showing people where body is, just by seeing it through vision. I think there's a lot of stuff we don't understand that we're capable of, and some people are. They might have unlocked, that achievement in their head. Don't know how they do it, but like the perineal gland or something. I think they must have like a super big fat juicy one, and that's giving them a bit of a head start over the rest of us. So yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
any school kid knows that we only use 6% of like one half of his brain.
Yeah,
And so why the fuck do we have it? Like you said, evolution, Darwinism. Like, do you have it and not use it? As far as we know, most other animals in the circle of life going around on this planet, it's everything. It's do or die. It's survival, and everything works and everything fits. For that reason. And then we, create like what is it like a beautiful and terrible things because we create art and music, we create technology and science, which can be a very good things. We also kill the shit out of each other, and we create weird things like religion and excuses to kill each other.
yeah, yeah.
But
But this is the thing. This is what I don't like where you've got people that claim to know what the hell is going on. Like, what the hell is going on? Some white dude from Middle East, weirdly enough, got with a Roman name or Spanish name. Is like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he didn't exist. I'm saying didn't exist how they're telling it did. Like, it's so you've got like all these things that like nobody knows exactly what is going off because even history is written by the winning side all the time. There's a lot of knowledge on the other side, or the real reason why the war happened that you're never going to know because they all got wiped out. So yeah, it's just one of them things where I just claim I'm interested in the mysteries, but I don't claim to know, things that have been proven by science to be real. I believe in, but things that haven't been proved to be either real or not real, I like to keep an open mind to all that stuff because
yeah.
somebody going, oh, don't believe that. It's like, well, why not? Like, there's stranger things have happened. Peter Andre got a music career.
Hey,
So there you go. Milli Vanilli won a Grammy, and they lip synced.
Did they have to give that
So
back? I
I'm not sure.
Are they still on with it? They're in hiding.
Yeah, they're hiding in a tax haven somewhere with all the £1 million that they made off that one song. When you could actually make money out of music. So yeah, anything creative is kind of a treat. You have to be in it for the passion these days because if you're trying to do it as a job, you've got to be extremely talented in one way or another and cut above everybody else in every way, shape, or form. You can't just be a good guitar player. You've got to be a good-looking guitar player who is also an excellent singer by modern music standards. It's not that easy anymore. Or you just get lucky per chance. Like, I don't even know how Taylor Swift got so big because she's middle of the road, like, to look at and to listen to, but teenage girls love it. So there you go.
And according to Dave Grohl, who is beloved by everyone and can do and say no wrong.
I don't trust him. I don't trust him. Jesus Grohl. No, I don't trust that.
He recently confirmed that Swiftie may not actually be playing live after you've spent your £500 ticket to go see her.
Well, I mean that. Yeah, I wouldn't expect that, to be fair. But at the same time, I don't think she even writes songs by herself anyway. And they've all got the same. There's like 26 songs she's got or something. They've all got the same chord structure, just played differently, or play like swapped around. Every blues musician will probably be like, not me.
Oh, yeah.
Same 8-bar blues.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. But basically, if you like it, you like it. It's not for me, but I just can't understand how she's a billionaire.
Yeah, but we do have to be, I mean, we've got to be careful what you say because people probably are listening, and she has snipers. So
fair enough. Well, if I'm not here next, yeah, if
you are a diplomat, you did say it's not for us. We're not saying you're bad, Miss
no.
Swift. Just that it's not for us. But I'm going to keep moving anyway, make it a little bit harder for him. for what it's
Eh,
worth.
Yeah.
Just,
Everybody has an
just in
audience,
case.
by the way. Everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, Yoko Ono's got fans, and all she does is scream down a microphone. She was going out with one of the most talented men in the music business at one time, and yet she didn't learn how to sing one fucking note.
But John Lennon, like I said, you've got to be like nowadays. You've got to be good looking and as talented as John Lennon, because John Lennon could get away with being an ugly fuck.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
being that talented. And I'm sure there are women of a certain age who would argue that point, but I would still argue you were attracted to the charisma, the personality, the talent.
Yeah. Maybe he probably looked better until he went out with Yoko, and Yoko obviously made him grow his hair, grow his beard, and that's a niche. That's a niche thing for, you know, when you have the pop star look. That's a general view that is going to open up the audience more to him. You know.
Here's the thing. I've said this before. So if you could be a teenager, you know, what would it be like? Late 50s, early 60s. You know, the Beatles are, you know, really coming into their own. I guess it'd be like the collarless, you know, the button down fucking jackets and the mop top kind of a thing. You know, they're not doing the hippie thing. It's
no,
you know,
too early. That. Yeah.
But you've got, because I know if we were back then, obviously we'd have the upbringing of a child back then, so we'd maybe have different personalities and views on the world or whatever. But if you could still be very much who you are, a man you, I assume, know very well, if you were still you, with your tastes and your preferences and stuff that you're aware of, but put yourself back there, do you think you'd be a Beatles fan? Because we can all revere them as musicians now. We know, we can respect everything they did and achieved, I'm sure. But
yeah,
I don't think I'd have given a rat's ass. I would have seen it as like boy band music for girls, very bland twee. I don't think
that is basically.
I'd have been more of a Stones guy, you know.
Yeah, that's basically what I would share that view. I think that they were literally a manufactured boy band, but they went on to create loads of good music. But you know, I'm not a massive Beatles fan. I do respect the work, and I do like a lot of the stuff. But when I listened back to the music, I almost like the early stuff, like the 60s stuff, more than some of the other stuff, you know. Like, it's almost like, actually, Hard Day's Night is a banger, whereas, you know, the one where they're on the rooftop and stuff, it's okay, but does she or something like that? I don't know. I can't remember the song name, but yeah, or Hey Jude, I can't stand that song, or, you know, there's a lot of songs I don't like by them that everybody raves about, but I like the proper old bangers from, like, Here Comes the Sun. That one's all right, but yeah, I would be one of those that'd probably just go, nah, not for me. I'd be putting my Shadows LP on, because you know, I would say that I'd be down with Shadows, the Shadows,
Trying to transpose the me who I am back then yeah, the kind of the edgier, dirtier, the, you know, the ones that your parents won't like as well, you know, the more like the Animals, or I say the Stones,
Animals,
like the Animals, the Yardbirds, so that kind of heavy blues shit.
Animals are a really good band.
That's what men listen to. I don't know, you know, like that. There's a teenager.
That is exactly it.
Shit, that's, you know, that'd be the good shit.
Yeah.
You know. No,
give me the Animals any day over the Beatles early stuff. You know, I like the Animals. I've listened to a fair few of their albums, and I've got to say that I would say that they were a lot stronger as a band than Beatles were in the early days. It's just they didn't have such a long reigning career, and they weren't as probably popular or good looking. They might have been as good looking as Beatles, who knows? But because I'm not a girl, but they for some reason it's the telly tells people who to like, and I think the Beatles. You get, you know, if you're manufactured like they were told what to dress, how to sound, very sculptured, because they were trying to get a specific audience, like, which was everybody, and it was only the old fuddy-duddies that wouldn't understand it. It's like anything that comes out, Girls Aloud or Spice Girls. Your dad wouldn't listen to that back in day, but you were loving it because it was a new thing, and that's what that is. There's waves of it every generation. You'll get waves of it, and some turn out to be really good musicians, and they stick at it. David Bowie, for instance, he started off like, you know, in the glam sort of era, and actually started off before that, but
Yeah,
he got known
like an acoustic folk artist.
Yeah, and he was like, he did the Laughing Gnome songs, yeah. But he got big when he was doing the glam stuff and putting on stage show kind of characters and things like that. So yeah, it, like I said, there's waves like mainstream kind of things in generations, and then some of those last for a long time because they're really good artists, and then you'll get some, unless like tragedy befalls them, they'll just end up working back in a garage or whatever they were doing before because you know. But I don't see anything. I don't like using the term failed musician, because if you can play music, you haven't failed.
Yeah.
And the point of music isn't to, like, for me anyway. You know, other people might be like, "What are you on about? It's to sell as many records and get famous and get loads of money." It's like, well, no, you just want some fans. Like, you just want to build a fan base. If the height of my fame was like 30,000 people, I would be bang happy with that. Like, you know, and probably less than that actually. But I wouldn't want to be worldwide renowned and not be able to leave my house because everybody's trying to, you know, get me to sign shit and sell on eBay and stuff like that. You know, people be like, "Yeah, it'd be nice." It's like, no, it wouldn't. A lot of these people end up
It doesn't
dying.
look nice. Yeah.
No, but your privacy's always been, you know, you robbed of your privacy basically and stuff like that. So I get why a lot of them have nasty ends and things like that, because they can't. It's not the same world that they lived in anymore. It's a completely different world. So anyone who can survive in that world or get chewed up and spat out and survive it, good on them. Because it's not a world I want. No way. I just want to play some tunes. If a couple of guys buy a few T-shirts and like take a few CDs or just listen to us in general and come to next gigs, brill. That'll do. Just want to be a performing artist and have some following, whatever the number may be.
So
don't have to be a lot.
Here's one for you. I'm going to mix the two things that I'm known for. I'm going to mix the movies and music. The kind of the musician biopic has been quite a money spinner, right? We've had we've got the Bob Marley one, Amy Winehouse, Elvis. That was a good one. I think there's like a Madonna one in the works.
Yeah. There were a David Bowie one, but I don't think they used any one of his songs because they didn't have copyright or something. I could be wrong on that.
No,
but,
yeah. There was a couple. I think one was way more successful than the other, but yeah, they both have that same issue, which it kind of takes the edge off.
It's like, if you ain't got license, don't bother.
So, given that they're probably gonna keep making these, Bohemian Rhapsody, of course, that was what I still haven't actually seen that, because they originally cast Sacha Baron Cohen, and I was down for that big time.
Yeah.
And then I think Brian May got over involved and wanted to like Disneyfy it, and Sacha Baron Cohen was like, "I signed up to play Freddie Mercury, and that guy was not like family friendly."
Yeah. He wanted to do some. He wanted to do some like really deep gay stuff, probably.
That's what
he'd do it.
Yeah. So he was like, "I'm out," and we know the dude can sing. We know the dude. bears more than a little actual resemblance. You know, it doesn't take too much of a haircut and a tash to make Sacha Baron Cohen look the part.
No, he could have done it really well.
No, yeah, I was so down for that. So once that got nixed, it really kind of just put me off the whole idea. I'll get around to it one day. It's supposed to be very good.
Yeah, I'm never in mood for it, but yeah, I'm saying I ain't seen it.
But who would you like to? What artist would you like to see? Let's assume it's going to be a good one. You know, well, what artist would you like to see? Do you think deserves to be seen? You know, might not be like super obscure. You know, someone that the viewers might know, but someone you think deserves one who might not be getting one, and if possible, an actor or actress that you think might play them, if possible.
All right.
For a bonus point.
I've got one for each actually. Mike Patton hasn't had a biopic done on him, and I think Colin Farrell could probably do a good job of doing him. Looks wise, he could, you know, slick back hair, kind of looks Italian. So you know, he's got the. So yeah, I reckon he could do that. That would be my off the top of my head one. And he's not super obscure, but you know, there's a lot of people that don't know Faith No More or you know Mr. Bungle and all the other million bands he's been in. So
yeah,
but I'd like to know, you know, the rise to fame because he were in like he were in Mr. Bungle first in high school when he was 16, writing like death metal, and then he's somehow got the poster boy of Faith No More, and then he's, I don't know, then like now as he's got older, in COVID he kind of had like a bit of a where he cancelled all tours because he didn't want to do anything. His mental health like taking a big dip, so he kind of like shelled in and basically stayed away from people and stuff like that. And then now he's playing like hardcore, like you know, hardcore thrash metal and stuff again. Like so, it's almost like he's back to his youth after trying all this stuff at middle, even like Italian opera singing, Mondo Cane, a bit of Peeping Tom, you know, you name it. He's ticked all the boxes. So I'd like to see be more his life story rather than you know with some band involved but more around him.
Mike Patton movie than a Faith No More movie kind of a thing.
Yeah, how he came to be. Like you know, and the different stages of him, kind of as a youth, and then like to old man Farrell, like could probably pull him off now. He's a bit more like taller and like leaner than Mike. I think Mike's quite short and stocky, but yeah, I think it'd still work.
Yeah, I'm digging this. I'm leaning into it to the point that I'm also thinking of titles. I'm also thinking if we make this movie, we'll give Colin a ring later, and we'll make this movie.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, if we called it The Cat's in the Bag and the Bag's in the River, is that too long?
Yeah.
And would people get it?
Yeah. Or it could just be called Epic because that's the more well known one. But you know, or any Faith No More title or something that. But Epic because it is, you know. It fits because it's such a.
Call it Dead Fit.
Yeah, why not? But yeah, he's such a great musician that you just think, well, like that would work, and I don't know why nobody's made it yet, but there we go.
Yeah. Also,
like,
also, kids, if you're interested, and if you follow Snikt, you already know this, but the video game. The Darkness and The Darkness 2, based on the comic book. It's a first-person shooter. There's it's mafia with demonic powers, a little bit of sort of time travel, killing Nazis, right? Like, what more do you want in one story?
Can't think of it.
One comic book, one game, especially when Mike Patton does 6 different voices through the game. For different characters, mainly the little gremlin guys and the demons and shit, and in fact the main kind of spoiler, the Darkness, that semi-controls your character that you try and take control of as the game goes along. He does that, and he's fucking terrifying.
Oh
Which was
yeah, he
released
did
this
the
day, 2007 or 2008.
really.
And I
Wow.
really want to go back and play it again because I've been. It keeps crossing my path, like in weird ways for random reasons, and I keep going, I love that so much, and I've got. I don't trade shit in, not because I'm rich, but because I'm actually for the opposite, because I'm kind of tight.
You like the
I
you like
hope
the
the
collection.
things. And so I still have my 360. I'd still have the games, the actual hard copy, because physical media, kids, is still a great thing. But they are something. They're about £3 at the minute
Yeah.
on the Microsoft Store. If anybody wants them, pick them up.
I've
strongly
completed the
recommend
first
them.
two. Really recommend them. I've not played Darkness 3, I don't think, but he also did the creatures voices in I Am Legend as well.
Yeah.
The film. All the zombies that make like that weird noise. He did all the weird noises because he's good at that. So yeah, in fact, he actually did quite a lot. He went through doing some voiceovers for a lot of games. There's one called Summit Cyborg where you had like a grappling hook arm, or something like that. It's some. I don't think it's Bionic Cyborg or something like that, or cyber something like that.
I can totally.
Bionic Commando. Bionic Commando.
The remake reboot.
The reboot. He did it.
I just couldn't get the title in my head.
Yeah, he did Bionic Commando voiceover as the character. So yeah, he's done a dab and a few games as well. So he's an all rounder. He does everything.
Yeah, especially anything.
So.
Anything that involves the mouth. Probably want to go with that guy.
Yep. $20 is $20, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I've got about 20% on my phone left, John, so might have to wrap up the next few minutes.
Let's wrap this up. So, kids, this has been Sean of Them Screaming Teeth. Psychedelic, grunge, hard rock, just fucking doom, stoner. Just go take a listen. They're like fucking everywhere. If you go on the internet and just write in Them Screaming Teeth, you'll find them somewhere. You'll be tripping over teeth left, right, and center, and it's all good. You'll love it. You'll thank us afterwards.
You can buy us shirts, and we've got a store, so you can buy all that in we've got a link in his bio, so just go there if you're interested in any of that. Not going to hog me wares too much, but yeah. This is supposed to represent the other two members that aren't here, so.
Yeah, which of course it does. Did you actually, when doing that, is that an art? Where did you get that commissioned, or is that something you managed to do yourself?
No, I did that. Yeah, I do 90% of basically we're a DIY outfit. If it's not done by me or Ben or Luke, it's not. It's not. We've not done it yet because at the moment we just do it all ourselves just to keep costs down, and everything's a lot quicker that way. We have toyed with the idea of getting other people in to people we know to do stuff. So we're not against that, but we've just not had any offers. So we've done it all ourselves. So we've got a store set up that you can buy online, or we've got them at gigs and things like that. So got CDs. The CDs we didn't do ourselves. We got them professionally printed and things, and these come from a store that's online. So if there's any problems with it, you send it back to them rather than me, so it's quick,
Right.
So yeah.
I'm gonna throw you one last question. I'm sure it'll be a quick answer, and we're gonna zoom off this shit.
All right.
Actors are amazing real lives. So the devil appears, right? Offers you. It might have been the devil. Could be Dave Grohl. I don't know. But the
Yep.
devil
Same
appears,
thing.
offers you, everything your heart desires. World domination, Bill and Ted style of them screaming teeth.
Okay.
Pretty women, lots of money. I don't know, whatever it is that you want, you can have your heart's desire. You only have to agree to one thing: the silencing of Bono. What do you say?
Absolutely, without question. In fact, if the devil's listening, could you please hurry up and ask me? Because I would quite happily love a big music studio full of gear, so I can invite all the bands that are sucking a lemon right now and they can't afford a studio. I'm like, get in here, come on, we'll record you, and Bono can shut the fuck up, and everybody will be happy. I think that's a good answer.
That was easy. No thinking time required whatsoever.
No, straight up.
That may be the case. It's as if we've met each other before.
Yeah. It's such a lovely day.
So
a perfect day, should I say?
Well, I'll let you take yourself off whenever you're ready. On that note, kids, as the sun sets slowly in the west, we'll bid you a fond farewell.
Thanks for
Johnny Fox.
having me, John.
Anytime, you know that. I've been Johnny Fox. That's been Sean from Them Screaming Teeth. And I'll be back next week.
Follow this guy. Follow Snikt. Press that. Press.
Go.
If you're in a band, get on here. He will flog you.
Anything. If you're a backflipping penguin, or if you've trained a backflipping penguin, because flippers, it's kind of hard to type a message out. I know that. So
yeah,
if you can get some human that to do that for you, I'd love to hear from you. Backflipping penguins, unicycling bears, musicians, photographers, artists, whatever kind of artists.
Slide in his DMs.
Sculptors, comic style art, pen and ink, painters, oil paints, whatever. It's all good. To be honest, if you're just a big, huge fucking fan of something, if you're like a mega fan of whatever, Star Wars, Marvel, something like that, toy collector, anything, gamer, get yourself on it. We'll have some fun. We both get a bit of cheap ass promo, but most importantly, we get a bit of fun. Maybe we make a new friend.
Exactly.
It's what makes the world go around. Hopefully, that's what they say.
It's lots of fun being on. I mean, I've been here 3 times now, John, as you know, and I always keep accepting. So there you go. That's my answer. Yeah.
I don't know if it's an outright Tom York quote of Radiohead fame, or whether he most likely, I don't know, got it from some amazing person he read in a book from whatever, because he's far more educated and well-read than I could probably ever hope to be. But I know it from Tom York saying that the meaning of life is simply heartfelt communication between other human beings. That works for me. I'm good with that. All this other shit in between, all this work and money and politics and all the isms, they can all do one. We really are going to go this time. So as the sun sets slowly in the west, we will indeed bid you a fond farewell.